Well, we're not going to do a yearling video this week because the horses are just jogging. They're all broke, doing their work nicely. You guys got a chance to look at most of them a little bit. So there's just no need of it, but I am going to do a 2-year-old video, let you know where everybody's at. Allie's got grit. I went from, I thought he was okay, to I was very skeptical all summer with the breaks and the poor performances, to where I went and drove him and he raced great. And then I watched him break his maiden last week. I believe this horse is a legit contender coming into the final next Sunday. I got to book my plane ticket. Remind me to do that. Next Sunday to Illinois. What's the sale over here? Friday?
Friday.
We have to be heading
For the race horses on Friday. Yeah.
What's that name?
We have to be heading on Friday.
What's Friday? What's Saturday?
He's got that,
Thing on Saturday. Yeah, that's all right.
There's nothing happening Saturday. It'll be long done. Checking out Friday.
Yeah. Arrowhead Hanover will bring him back in at 6 to 8 week mark. Now the only issue with Arrowhead Hanover is he's got 5 wins. So we get him ready. Where do we go with him? That is a good question. Aunt Lily will be coming back in at the 6-week mark also. You know, I had a great conversation with a number of clients, some of them old former trainers, owners that have been around forever. They were adamant that 8 weeks was the limit, and they're not getting their 8 weeks. I've done this a long time also, and when it comes to the horses that we've brought in, it was funny because a long time ago, back when the stable was just growing, I vividly remember this, having a conversation. I said it was Lucchese, and I believe it was. And I thought 8-10 weeks, give them lots of time. And she was one that said 6 weeks. 6 weeks. And we always kind of hung out at that 8-week mark also. I believe she was right at that time, and I'm sure it was her. But 6 weeks seems to be the right way, especially you can get them ready, give them a little rest in between. We've already proved that with Time Is On My Side. And I hope he proves not to be the exception to the rule. I hope that we can form a policy that we can put in place when it comes to our horses, how we get them ready and how we manage them at 3 in their sophomore season, based on what I've seen from Time Is On My Side, because it was a little chaotic, but it worked perfectly for him, and he is still as sharp as a tack right now as he was at any point in his 3-year-old season.
Doesn't it depend on how they're put away, though?
Yeah, so every horse is different. That goes without saying. Now,
if they're a dish rag getting put away,
you never want to put anything away at dish rag. So really, I don't think there's a certain time frame that you can put away and say, I put my horse away, burn out, and I'm going to bring him back. I think that's just something they have to overcome, right? They have to come back with that desire to do it. And if you've taken a little bit of that marrow away, so to speak, from those horses at 2, which happens from time to time, then I don't think there's a way you can put it back in. Either they want it and they continue forward, or they don't, and there's nothing you can do. That's my take on it. And this goes back to training the horses hard to begin with. James and I have had many conversations that have gone from very polite to almost coming to blows. Very close to coming to blows, I think, over this and my father also, about this as far as training the horses and, horses getting used hard, or maybe, and I'm getting towards it where they were kinked at 2. Of course, if you have somebody that has really just been overly hard on a horse to the point where, and you know who I'm talking about, you've seen people do this, where they just drill through and the horse just is not any good. And it's not just that horse, but you see it, it's a trend, right? They do it over and over and over and over and over again. What's that, sweetheart? For who? P4 must be some sort of thing for pregnancy, I'm assuming. Right? Oh, or is that an x-ray? That could be the bone. I'm not sure. P4 sounds a lot like, no, that's pasture. P4 might be P4. I don't know. I'm not positive. But when it comes to those horses, and I go back to, I know without a doubt, the horse I was the hardest on throughout the entire month of May was Arrowhead Hanover. And he was absolutely viciously sharp in his last 2 starts of the year. And he was put away on a 2-race win streak, sharp as a tack. And there wasn't a horse in our barn that worked even remotely as hard as he did in the month of May in his 2-year-old season. You'll have to wait, Scotty. I'm doing a video. Yeah, he woke up from his nap. It appears. So I don't even know where we're at. We've been talking for minutes now about stuff. How did we get to where we just talked about? Do you remember how we got that? Can you walk us back?
Arrowhead Hanover. We were talking about that.
Well, he is number 2. It's upsetting that we're at the 5-minute mark and we've got through 2.
Well, that's normal.
At this rate, we'll be here until Thursday. Okay, thank you. Peanut Gallery. Aunt Lily. No, I talked about Aunt Lily coming back in 6 weeks. I don't know how we got there. Bluebird Tuxedo Hill is in Ontario training down. My only concern with Bluebird Tuxedo Hill is his health. He always seemed to have his blood screwed up when we took him. We gave him time off, worked on it, brought him back. It was good when he went to Ontario. I think it's time we draw it again. I just want to periodically take a little look-see inside to see what's going on with Bluebird. Blue Ventura will be back in very soon. We're going to start him back up. Very similar, aside from the breeding, very similar schematic to Time Is On My Side. Showed similar speed. One might argue that Blue Ventura actually raced better in 2 than Time did. Now, does he have the depth? Can he turn into that type of horse? No one knows until you really put up against it. But he is a nice colt. He'll be back in soon. He is going over to Ontario. Is he in Ontario already? Blue Ventura? Did we bring him back? Oh, my apologies. I'm 100. As I said, Ontario. I'm like, this horse I think is in Ontario. He is over there right now. Cadeau is not. He's in Jason's barn. We're getting him prepped and training down. Looks good. His knees have come back good. Captain Incredible qualified very, very good the other day. Not racing this week. We're going to race him next week when I am back. Century Legion will be coming over to Ontario to train down. I'm bringing him, Trevino on green, and My Wicked Heart over in another week or so. Who's the horse we're sending over there? We just did the Coggins on. Oh, I got to send that. It's Dancing by Myself. Jason sent me the Coggins. I have to send it out. Chicago Hall will be in at the 6 or 7 week mark. I might even bring him over to Ohio. He is a maiden, though. I do believe he should probably start in Ontario in the maiden, but we'll see how he trains down. Again, it's not like the maiden in the Meadows goes for nothing. 9,000 American is what, around 13 Canadian? 13 Canadian? 9,000?
What's he?
He's a maiden.
He's
3-year-old.
He's a maiden.
So it goes for 17.
What did he make as a 2-year-old?
81,000, 0 wins.
He doesn't fit the spring series.
Is the spring series just by money though? It might be by.
No, I think it's not more than 30,000.
I think you're right. There'll be stuff for him anyway as he comes back. Country Dancing will be back in another week. I may send her back over to Ontario. I may not yet. I haven't made my mind up. Fire and Shine will come back in. Man, did she ever get put away? But there's another horse, 2-race win streak heading into her little rest. And she turned the corner quickly as a 3-year-old. I had many discussions as a 2-year-old. I had many discussions with people throughout the summer saying, hey, this filly just doesn't seem good. Are we going to get rid of her? Or this filly just doesn't look like she can go with these horses. Are we going to continue to race her? And when really what it came down to is she just needed to grow up. And all at one time, she turned the corner. It really just turned into a nice filly. Foxy Seaside is in Ontario right now at Dominic's barn training down. Freedom Hill will be coming back in the same time that Aunt Lily does. Gaslight Hall is in the field now. Now him, a little different. He's got bad knees. I'm going to give him the full 8 weeks off, I believe, when it comes to our boy Gaslight Hall. Gorgeous package is coming in sharp, and there's another horse. She has 5 wins, but at least one of them doesn't count. That's the win in Delaware. That one doesn't count, pari-mutually speaking. So where does she fit in the scheme of things? I don't know. But man, I got high hopes for this filly at 3. She really, really opened my eyes at the end of the season. Grand Old Chap, even better. Do you still own? No, a long time. Long time. How long?
January.
Oh, January.
Yeah.
He trained in 17.
The yellow red flag came out immediately.
Yeah. He's training very good now. It looks good. He's been in 17. Still 3-4 weeks away, but I'm telling you, there's a racehorse in there. Grand Slam Dio had a good year, but didn't win a race. And tried him 54-3, tried him 55, tried him 56 a number of times. Raced really well. I just got photoed out at the wire in one race. She did have a good year, but it did not get her to the winner's circle. Again,
would have been nice to have a 2-year-old on her, but it's no big deal.
It's not a big deal, but you're right. I always thought of the same thing. I almost said, can we race her to maiden at Corbin? Then what you can do, we have 59-2, we have a 2-year-old mark of 59-2. So I said, no, just turn around. Gymboree, same type of thing. I think this filly will come back very good at 3. I can give you a litany of reasons, none of which I'm going to do because I think we've wandered off the path a couple of times already. But I think Gymboree is going to be a good 3-year-old. High hopes. Amy always loved this filly. And She's in Ontario right now training down. I just don't know where the ceiling is. I actually like the filly. She kicked me as hard as I've been kicked in a long time. A long time breaking her last year. She laid into me real good. But you know what? I like... She had a combination of... She was very timid, but wouldn't hesitate to rip your head off if you crossed the line. And I crossed the line that day. I got in behind her and I yelled at her. She didn't like what was going on, and she let me know it really quick. And it hurt for quite a bit. But I'll tell you...
It started with, I got in behind her.
Well, I usually say, come on, get out of that. And they're like, and they squid. No. She's like, you think so, do you? I don't know if you understand where you're at right now, the geography of my stall, but that's not where you're supposed to be. And she let me have it. And, but I like that edge. A couple of times I was worried that maybe she's not very deep, and that may be the case, but I want to see. Especially, it could have been allergies, so I am eager to see her race in the winter and spring, because I want to see what is your ceiling? Show me. And I can't wait to see her do it. I don't play nicest training down now in Ontario with Harry. I'm a trucker. Jason said training in 220 today. I told Jason there is no rush. He's a Michigan bred. I don't know if he'll ever race in Michigan next year. I have no idea if we're going to keep him that long. But make sure we do it right. Make sure when we get him to the races, we know what he is and he is not. So there's no rush when I'm a trucker. I'm ready to, is ready to qualify right now, but he'll school one more time. I'd like to see him go once more in 2.5, 2.6, and then we'll qualify him. But I like his gait, and I like the way he did his work the other day. So I am optimistic about him. Leggy trained good today. We always liked Leggy. Ended up with a small chip on her sesamoid last year. We took it out. She's training back great. Zero signs of any sort of lameness with her, so that's good. Manhattan Money is in Ontario with Harry right now, and is going to begin training down. Melisandre come back in. She looks good. She looks...
1 second.
Yes.
Going back to Leggy.
Yeah.
Is that a sister
Compass
home?
No, Compass Rose DC.
No. It's Leg Z.
Leg Z, and she's had a ton of foals. I knew that family when you said that. Leg Z has had a ton of foals.
Back to you.
Yeah. Melisandre. She looks fine. You know, somebody said the other day, well, Anthony, what if she doesn't pan out? What? If she doesn't pan out? Yeah. Okay. Here, I'll just let you know. She's got a sister that made $250,000, her brother, right? Her second dam is a dam of Rebuff, and the third dam has Rum Boogie and all those nice horses in it too. Solid family, top to bottom. If I don't love what I see come February 1st, I just call Tactical Landing. You have his number, don't you? Yeah, I'll just...
It was 25,000.
Yeah, and she was 150. And I'll just call Tactical Landing and see if he's busy on a Friday afternoon. Because if you think for a second that somehow Melisandre is going to end up being a loss for us, I disagree. She's a well-bred, beautiful filly, and by chance, I don't think she's a monster when she's training back. I won't hesitate to switch gears, especially after what we just did over the last month in regards to the Muscle Mass filly and Punch the Clock. Who's the Muscle Mass filly again? Princess Dream and Punch the Clock? Yeah. We'll be just fine with Melisandre. Not worried either way. Memento Mori. You know, Steve had a great question. What are your thoughts on New York for next year? I don't have it. New York or Kentucky, he'll tell us what he wants to do and what we are going to do. And my job is to make sure he is in the best place to make the most money and do the best for the stable next year. And if that is Kentucky, then so be it. Mountaineer Prince will come back in another 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks. I just want to give him lots of time. Real skinny over his butt. I just want to see him fill out a little bit. And hopefully Jacob is on top of that with our boy Mountaineer Prince. My Wicked Heart's coming over to Ohio, as I said. She will be leaving December 18th, so she has some work to do between now and December 18th. We'll get to that this week. Never Lose Felix. Very interested to see how he's going to trade down with Dominic. I like him. Oh, he'll know. Another one I think very, very highly of. We've been talking so long. It's time to be in. Oh, they like Oh, he'll know? You don't like Oh, he'll know? You should be taking care of horses. She is the sweetest filly. And absolutely, like this filly, trotted in 58 and did nothing wrong in the mile. Second in 58, I think, or third in 58 in Scioto, charging on the end of the mile. And then I put her in the maiden. I drove Allie's Got Grit that night. And Oh, he'll know, Aaron Merriman drove. And she absolutely jogged. A really, really nice filly. Pelican Al's getting very close. Every week he gets a little bit closer to qualifying. Is he going to be Charlie May? No, he's not. But there's a lot of room between him and Charlie May, and he'll find himself somewhere in there. Resolve Indeed will be back in about 4 weeks. I might take a couple of these Ontario bred horses over just because I want to look at them all winter long. And again, the maiden at the Meadows, the non-horse 2 at the Meadows, they have fillies and mares, maidens and non-horse 2s, and they fit them very, very, very well. So there's no need to be in Ontario right away with these 2 horses. These 3 horses we'll see. Rose Run AJ, here's a horse I could send to Ontario. Very fast, big track, he'll like it, and he is a very good horse. So there could be some exchange going on over the next a month or so between our 2 barns. Rosetta will be ready, will be coming back in immediately. What's up?
Why does it not want me to get that on 81 here?
I have no idea. I couldn't be any further from Christopher Columbus or Sacagawea than anybody else on planet Earth, so I can't tell you where to go.
Because 81 just sounds right to me.
I would trust the satellite.
Remember, I put this in for the hotel, and it said,
Oh, we're not going to the hotel now? Well, then just change it. Put it into the agriculture center. Harrisburg Agriculture Complex. Just put that in.
the exit's here.
Well, sounds like you missed the exit.
Well, no, I didn't. Watch this.
Okay, sounds like we're taking the exit.
No, we're just going to...
Or you're just going to stay right here. When I do stuff like this, Amy usually yells at me.
Well, she can yell at me. I deserve it.
That's fine. Rosetta will be coming back in a week. No, less than a week. She sits at the bar. I'm going to bring her back in right away. We're going to jog her for a month. I know there's some days she's off, some days she's not, but we need to have her close and working with her. I need to have an x-ray and an ultrasound on that leg. I need you to tell me why she won't make it, and then we need to work to help her make it. And if she can't, she can't, and if she does, I want that to be on us. And again, here's a very well-bred filly that's up against it. So again, if January, if we don't see a stake horse there, we're going to see a broodmare. And that's always been the plan when she sits at the bar. Southwind Idex, big lobster, lumbering horse, and he's getting close to the races. James said, my God, that horse is lazy. And I said, I know. I'm hoping that his breeding will kick in at some point. If it doesn't, we're just going to sell him. I said, our job is to get him ready, race him, and see how he feels. So let me know. Let's talk again in 3 weeks. 2-year-olds. Speed of Sound, they said, is training good now. I'm very happy to hear that Torino on Green will be coming to Ohio to train with us. I want to get a good look at him. Westland Warrior will come back out of the field in another 5 weeks or so. We'll get him back going. What a Lady, What a Night final next Sunday in Illinois. We'll see how What a Lady, What a Night does. And Woodmere Betcha, now been in 216 and getting closer. Smitty loves what he sees with her. He says she's training great. What happens with her moving forward, I don't know yet. We'll know soon enough. But I'm very, very happy so far with what I've seen from Woodmere Betcha. Yes, I wish she had a raced all summer. I love that filly. I think she's got a lot of pop to her, but a little more time to mature isn't going to kill anybody or any horse. So with that, I'm going to let you go. We're going to be back in a minute with the 3-year-olds and racehorses, and then we're all done as we get closer to Harrisburg.